Hey, hello. Hi everyone. Hi. Um I was just thinking about a situation that I encountered with a client recently where she took a break for a couple of weeks from her work and went exploring the coast with a friend. And during that time, all of her fixation on food really, really came to the fore. And what she discovered is going to be so valuable to you on your Christmas break. And that's why me, Laura Lloyd, food psychology coach, I want to share with you the insight that we got from that coaching call. What we discovered was that when she um, stopped work and had been working so intensely that all of the way that she was addicted to getting validation from completing tasks, from feeling competent, from accomplishing things, that was all taken away suddenly. And it's such a double bind because when you go on holiday, you're supposed to be in enjoyment mode straight away. But all the things that have been making you feel good about yourself, if all of your validation is coming from earning validation from either from other people's opinions, other people's praise and compliments for what you do, or from your own sense of, yeah, I met my expectations. Yeah, I'm doing good. I saw myself do that task. I saw myself be in my element, use my talents, right? We get so much good stuff from the way that we are in the workplace. In a way, it's like, um, it's me being in my strengths, right? And I am as liable to this as anybody else. When I coach and I know that I'm finding things and being helpful, of course, I'm getting loads of good feelings about myself. Like, yeah, you rock, right? Now, also, you might really appreciate it when people let you know that you're doing well, right? And sometimes when we're in the workplace, we're around people who see our talents, who see that version of us, our strengths, right? Okay, now imagine you work like crazy. And if you're anything like me, towards the end of the year, it becomes like, I've got to tie up all the loose ends of this project and this project and this project. So there's an absolute race to try and hit the kind of imaginary deadline of the end of the year, right? So we're working even harder than usual, even more of a pace, and then we stop for the holidays. All of that validation is out the window, and we're with the people who maybe they see our strengths in other ways, or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't see that version of us which we've worked so hard to build up in the world, right? I've been in this situation where, like, you know, like totally without any blame to my lovely mum, but I was working on the news desk at the Guardian, and she still thought that if she had a computer issue, she had to get my brother to do it, as if, like, she had no idea that I was, working on a national news website and knew my way around an Apple computer. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a tech wizard, but I could help my mum with her computer stuff. She had no idea what my competencies were, what my strengths were, what I was doing in my daily life. All these little wins that we don't share with the people around us particularly. And I'm sure that's the case with me and my husband. Like, we don't necessarily know what each other did all day and the little wins that we got and why we feel proud of ourselves for those things. We don't go home and say, I'm really proud of myself because I did this thing. Maybe you do. And if you do, I applaud you because it's a really, really good way of giving yourself some validation. But okay, so you're with people who don't necessarily see your work persona and your work strengths, right? And then add to that that your sense of yourself, which is all predicated on your achievements, is taken away. And the way you need to achieve, if you're like me, a mum, a woman, is, you know, by doing all of the Christmas things, getting sorted, running a household, everybody being happy, you might start to look for these other places to validate your worthiness. Okay. And one of the places where we look to validate our own worthiness and to measure ourselves and to control that sense of, yeah, I'm good enough, when all of the other validations are taken away, is with our food. That's when the calorie counting comes to the fore, or that's when our sudden need to be really good, or we start to be really vigilant to ourselves about our daily runs. We start to really be very aware of our eating in a way that we might allow, when we're working, for there to be some give. And it's absolutely natural and normal that we would focus on an area of our life where we think, and we have traditionally got some validation. Oh, I know I'm doing okay because I hit my calorie count. Oh, I know I'm doing okay because I went for my run. I did my yoga. I know I'm doing okay because I know I'm not doing okay because I gave in and ate that thing spontaneously. You can see where I'm going with this, that the solution to this is not one of my, like, top tips. If you want some top tips, please go and check out my holiday eating tips podcast episode. It's number 4 in High Food I Am Home series, and it really does just get in there with some practical advice, like how to handle buffets, how to handle leftovers, how to handle your family relationships, how to handle opportunistic eating. Those things are really contained in there. In this video, we're talking about something a bit more of a perspective shift, where you suddenly realize, like, okay, the solution is I need to validate myself. I need to learn to validate myself. And this is not something you can do in overnight, but it is something you can start now, because it is for free. Our thoughts are for free. You don't have to wait for Father Christmas to bring you the thoughts of self-love. You can just get one and start thinking it, start repeating it. Yeah. Thoughts of self-validation. I'm all right. I relish this opportunity to be human. I like the person I am. I love you, Laura. I'm doing good. Everything I do is worth spending time on. You have to find the thoughts which feel like you are encouraging you. You are noticing that you're strong, noticing that you're capable, noticing that you're able to cope, noticing that you're great even when you're not doing your work. Just as you are, your being is good. In my Sensational Eater program, we talk about this idea of creating self-worth from scratch, and it's really a decision that we make. Okay, and it's just really important that you understand that unless you at some point decide to stop outsourcing all of your self-worth to your work, that you're always going to run up against this wobbly self-loathing or obsessive eating every time the holiday happens. So this holiday, how about you give yourself some gratitude for who you are? How about you give yourself the gift of acknowledging yourself? And if you haven't followed High Food on Home podcast, hop onto Apple. There's a couple of links in the show description. Hop on to that holiday episode and make sure you follow the podcast so you know when new things come up, all about why we overeat so much after work.